Whenever there seems to be an outbreak of war or at least a strike in the Middle East or anything involving America and the Middle East, one word always seems to come to mind, and that is the word oil. So in this video today, we're going to talk about a couple ETFs in here involving oil. We're not specifically going to dig into Chevron and Exxon and things like that because more or less they kind of gave up most of their gains that they had from the weekend. So we're going to basically just focus on these two ETFs because they still closed higher than where they were on Friday's close. So we're going to look at USO and XOP. But first up, we're going to look at USO. We're trading right now in these 87 handles. We are up around $5 and some change from last Friday. You can see a nice little trajectory here where we're going, hey, something might happen in here, but we thought maybe we were just going to fizzle out up here in these 83s, just like we did last June. But obviously, since we did have all that action happening over in Iran with the strikes, with the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, a couple refineries being hit, things like that, obviously oil is going to spike, and that's exactly what it did. You can see overall on the week, I guess for the day, because we only had one day so far in this week, still red on the day, but we are green from Friday. So if you're looking at it, yeah, it's a big green day, but relative to itself from where we opened to where we closed, it is going to be considered a down day. So what happened in here? Nice little spike coming in on Sunday night going into Monday morning. And then as we basically right when we opened, everything kind of dropped off and then we just kind of faded from there. We're going to be looking at a couple levels up here since we are trading in this 87 now. We are looking right here at that 86.40, and then we're watching that 87.84. We're going to see if we can get out of this channel. These are coming off of previous resistances going back as far as 2022. So those are going to be our 2 points that we're watching. Anything outside of that 87.84, we're going to be forward looking in here to that $90 range. Now to the outside in here, to the downside, that is, anything below that 86, we got 83 next up on deck. And then below there, we have this nice gap that we need to be worried about filling from Friday. And that's going to be sitting right here close to that $81 range. In USO, IV rank is obviously sky high in here, 95. You have a $4 expected move priced in by tomorrow's expiration. If you go, or I'm sorry, Wednesday's expiration. If you go to Friday's expiration, it looks like everybody's pricing in right around a $6 expected move. We're also going to take a look at XOP while we are in here looking at these different ETFs. And this ETF actually closed about $6 higher from Friday's close. And you can see basically kind of the same action in here overall. We're basically stuck in a channel from a few years ago as well. And we have a huge gap up in here from Friday. The levels we're looking at in here are going to be basically, we're going to be chalking it up to that 160 level in here to the upside. Anything outside, we're going to be looking at that 162.49. To the downside in here, we have right around a 159 flat area. Then we're looking down here at the 154 mark. So that's what we're looking in here overall to the upside and downside in XOP. You can see again, kind of same trajectory, right? Everything's kind of pointing to something's happening. And then boom, you had that gap up. Thought again, maybe we were going to hit this resistance just like USO. Hey, we're getting close to a resistance in here. Nope, broke right through it. Obviously, news catalyst changes everything. As far as your IV rank in XOP goes, it's not as high as USO, but it's still pretty juiced compared to itself over the past year. IV rank of 38 in here, raw IV of 50. You have a $6 expected move priced in by this Friday, next Friday, $10, monthly expiration, are pricing in right around $11 expected move. So obviously RSI has risen in here to overbought status. So that is going to happen when we have a huge gap up like this. So let's see what happens to our momentum here as we continue throughout the week in both of these ETFs. We're going to keep an eye on obviously the major news outlets to see what is going to happen in the world, right? That's going to affect everything. But overall, oil and everything jumped. You had that kind of fade out. Those specifically Exxon and Chevron, they kind of pulled back, reverted to their mean, and then you had the overall markets start to climb. You had that pullback in your TLT. So that's kind of how everything correlated today. Let's see what happens as we continue throughout the week. I wouldn't be surprised if oil, these two ETFs, started reverting closer back to their mean since we are about $6 off on each of them right now from where we were Friday. So if these things start to revert back to our mean, get a little bit more of a pop in our overall technicals, everybody starts to roll back out into different industrials and things like that, then we're going to see a normalized market. But until then, everybody's kind of on edge, seeing what is going to happen overseas. So again, that's what we're looking at in XOP and USO. Let's see what happens throughout the end of the week. Okay, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.